When it comes to losing weight, there's one mistake that I see people make that keeps them stuck. And the worst thing about it is they actually think they're doing everything right when really they're just causing more damage. They've cut their calories, they're barely eating, but the scales won't move. And even worse, maybe they're going up. Well, today I'm going to explain why people make this mistake. I'm going to explain why I see it so often. I'm going to explain what to do if you've ever experienced it. And then I'm going to teach you exactly how to avoid it so you can see the scales go down and finally achieve your fat loss goals. For anyone new around here, hi, I'm Joe. I'm a Team GB gymnast turned fat loss coach. And if at any point during this video you want to find out a little bit more about how I help people, what my program is, in the first link in the description, I've put everything you need to know in order for you to lose your next pound of body fat over the next 24 days for free. I'm going to be covering some of the mistakes that people make and how I help them fix them in order for them to get transformations like this, this, and this. So keep watching. Picture the scene. You want to lose weight. You think, right, what I need to do is eat less. You've probably been here before. So what do? You cut your calories. You go from not tracking your calories to filling out the form on MyFitnessPal, and suddenly you want to lose 1 kilogram a week for the next 6 weeks, and suddenly you're on 1,400 calories. Then as the weeks pass by, you start to hate life a little bit more with every lack of calorie you have week on week. The scales don't move. There's still fluctuations. It's not changed your body. You're still looking in the mirror and feeling frustrated, all because you're eating less. This is something I see all the time, and more often than not, people are making a few key mistakes here. The first thing is this idea that you need to starve yourself if you're trying to lose body fat or lose weight in general. That is simply not the case. Now, unethically, of course, starving yourself is going to reduce in weight loss. Now, I'm not advising this. It's not the best way, is it? Let's be honest. We can all, if you think it is, this is the wrong video for you. It is not the best way. It's not sustainable. You're not going to fit it in around your life. You're going to not be able to do anything or function. And ultimately, you're going to make yourself poorly. And that is not the way to lose weight at all. I work with people to help them achieve weight loss or fat loss goals. And more often than not, they all sound similar when they come to me. It's something like they've tried before, but they've maybe not seen consistent progress. Maybe they've seen a little bit of progress and then something's derailed them, thrown them off. And it's this kind of vicious yo-yo cycling of dieting. And this is one of the biggest causes of that. The first problem that we're going to tackle in this video is that actually you may not be eating as little as you think. This is a really common thing that I see. More often than not, people actually don't have an idea of just how much food or calories they are consuming on a daily basis. This is why all of the clients that I sign and start to work with me all partake in a 3-day food diary, food log. We call it part of our nutritional audit. The reason why we do this is to pin down and track exactly how many calories, what foods they are consuming day to day. This gives us our starting point, our benchmark. From here, we can look at, okay, Susan, your calories are actually, you're in a surplus. You're not burning less calories than you're consuming day to day. You're actually consuming 200 to 300 more every single day. This clicks with some people and they have a massive, oh my word, I have no idea that this many calories are in these things. And this is absolutely normal. I've been in this position myself, and every single person that I work with often starts here as well. Now, I don't think you should be tracking your calories for your whole life. That's not what I call a life. But everybody should, in my opinion, go through phases of doing so, because all it does is increase your awareness and knowledge as to how many calories and what these foods actually contain. Now, without knowing exactly what you are consuming day to day for a period of time, you cannot guarantee you are actually in a caloric deficit, which is where your body needs to be in order for you to lose weight or body fat. So firstly, you need to make sure you are consuming less calories day to day than you are burning. You're moving more than you're consuming, to put it simply. If you are confident that you are in a calorie deficit, depending on your starting point, you should be able to tell quite quickly if you are tracking the scales over a couple of weeks. You'll be able to see if your body and food consumption is in the right place for this. If not, you will need to make a further change. Another problem that I often see is when people drastically cut their calories. They maybe have been consuming something like 3,000 calories and they cut them in half drastically. When you do this, you are ultimately putting your body in a state of survival. It's on survival mode. If you are massively reducing the energy needs of your body, that isn't going to end very well. Your body's not going to be able to function effectively. Your hormones are going to be deregulated. Essentially, it's going to try and just survive and cling on to everything. It's not going to be in a good state to actually facilitate fat loss, weight loss. It's not going to want to because it thinks it's dying. It thinks it can't survive. It's not got enough energy to survive. It is not optimal for fat loss or weight loss. Picture a car. If a car, when you're driving along the road, has a serious problem, more often than not, it'll go into limp mode. Limp mode is basically where the car is functioning with less power, less energy. Something's wrong and the engine is not giving you enough power for the car because something's wrong. It's telling you something's wrong. Your body will do this exact thing. You're going to be tired, you're going to be snappy, you're going to be hungry, obviously you're going to be fatigued. Your body's going to throw these hormone signs of deregulation and this absolute ridiculous deficit, lack of energy for somebody who is working 6 days a week or whatever you are. Do not just half your calories and put yourself in a massive deficit because you want to lose weight fast. When you do this, and you'll see this if somebody unfortunately has been ill for a period of time, they lose so much muscle mass so quickly. The aim of losing body fat is to make it as easy, enjoyable, and to reduce as much muscle mass lost as possible. It's not always going to be enjoyable. It's not always going to be easy. You are probably going to lose a little bit of muscle mass, but you can limit that by doing the following, which leads us on nicely, it's almost like this video was planned, into my next point. People often try to lose weight and they're not following a resistance routine at all. They only think right calories, they're not consuming extra protein, they're not trying to keep the protein content high in their diet, and they think, right, I don't need the gym. That is going to work. Don't get me wrong. But it is not the most effective way or sustainable way or healthiest way to make that result actually happen. Keeping your protein consumption nice and high is going to help actually keep and maintain that muscle mass that your body has and try to reduce some of the loss that you are going to face if you are in a heavy calorie deficit. And training, resistance training, is going to help you actually build that physique underneath those extra layers of body fat that you're actually after. People often say to me, Joe, I want to be more toned. How do I get more toned? And all this is building a physique, building muscle mass in various places, whether it's more female, glute dominant for the females, or whether it's more bicep dominant for the men, whatever it is, different people have different aims. It is building muscle and strength in those areas. So when you reduce the body fat level, those areas are more apparent. That's all it is. Besides the benefit of staying more functional, increasing bone density, and the physical and mental benefits of training following resistance routine, the nervous system benefit, there's so much. If you don't incorporate some level of resistance training, I'm not saying go and do bicep curls for 4 sets of 10 twice a week. Exercise, resistance training, where the body is put through those different phases, that's fine. But if you're not doing that, I don't think that's the most effective way in order to lose weight in a sustainable and healthy manner that you actually enjoy. When you've done these things, you've slashed your calories, you're not seeing the scales go down, all this does is create the yo-yo diet effect that you've all seen and maybe experienced before. Over the first week, you may not see any changes at all, primarily because actually your body's thinking, what have you done to me? It changes, your metabolism slows down slightly, and it's thinking, what are you doing? I'm not used to this. When you do that, you're going to get unmotivated. You're going to not be seeing results. You're not going to be feeling great. You're not going to be having any food that you like. You've given yourself this really unrealistic diet. The likelihood of you sticking to that for a sustainable period of time is effectively zero. These crazy deficits also cause so many other problems when it comes to hormone regulation, and the effects it can have on other areas of your life and your health can be massive, so be careful. The diets that actually cause people to lose weight sustainably and healthy, which means they can have a social life and not hate themselves or hate their life while doing it, are the ones that are slower, controlled, and managed effectively with realistic expectations of training, nutrition within their routine. If you place yourself in a small 200 calorie deficit and you slightly increase your activity day to day, I'm not saying go to 10K steps, but if you can go from 4 to 6 or maybe 6 to 8, then add on a couple of basic resistance sessions or sports where your body is actually put through resistance in different forms, that is going to be enough consistently over time for fat loss. Obviously, there's more effective ways of doing so. There's things you can speed up, slow down, and obviously working with a coach helps to put all of those things in a pipeline so you know exactly what to focus on when and what to expect when things happen, or maybe when things don't happen. Remember, when it comes to fat loss, what is your bigger picture? If you're trying to lose quite a lot of body fat very quickly and you have no experience with the gym, training, exercise, nutrition, your end result isn't probably going to be one which actually in the long term you want. Maybe in the short term, you'd be like, oh yeah, I've lost 10 kilograms very quickly. Sometimes you've got to think, okay, is it better for me to take a slightly longer approach, but I'm gonna not try and cut lots of body fat very quickly by putting myself in just a little deficit. I'm gonna try and hang on to as much muscle mass as possible, because actually, if I go slightly slower, I'm gonna probably hang on to more muscle mass as I reduce my body fat. And alongside that, I've got a good training regime, 2 to 3 times per week, progressively overloading, pushing my muscles to failure, all of those things. And actually, that approach is sustainable. You're going to enjoy it, and it's probably going to give you better long-term results. I know the hardest thing about this is actually putting it into action. And this is exactly how I help people with my online coaching program. I'm not going to give you a big sales pitch here. If you're feeling a bit stuck or you'd like some direction or focus going into September, if you hit the link in the description, I'm going to give you everything you need to know in order for you to lose your next pound of body fat over the next 24 days for free. You can literally grab it. It's free. I've basically put all of my best bits of advice, all the fat loss musts, the weight loss needs into one place, and you can grab them for absolutely free. Thanks for watching. It's been emotional. And if you enjoyed this one, YouTube's going to suggest a video right here that you're definitely going to enjoy as well.